August 18th, 1868. In the kingdom of Siam, something extraordinary was about to happen. The sun would disappear, not because of a storm, not because of an omen, but because a king had calculated that it would. His name was Mongkut, King Rama IV of Siam. But King Mongkut was not only a monarch, he was deeply fascinated by science, astronomy, mathematics, languages, and the movement of the heavens. Years before the eclipse, Mongkut had studied astronomy seriously. He learned from Western scientific works and communicated with foreign scholars and missionaries. He compared astronomical calculations with observations of the sky, and eventually he turned his attention toward one particular event, a total solar eclipse. Mongkut calculated when the eclipse would occur. He calculated where the moon's shadow would pass, and he determined that the path of totality would cross an area called Wakor, in what is now Prachuap Khiri Khan province. This was not a guess, it was a mathematical prediction. The king decided to travel to Wakor to observe the eclipse himself. A temporary observation site was prepared. Scientific instruments were transported. Foreign observers joined the expedition, and everyone waited for the day when the prediction would be tested. Then came August 18th, 1868. The morning began normally. The sun rose over Siam. People continued their work, but above them, the moon was moving silently across the sky, exactly as the king had calculated. Slowly, the sunlight weakened. The temperature began to fall. The landscape changed. Daylight became twilight, and the moon continued its journey across the face of the sun. And then, totality. For a brief moment, the sun disappeared behind the moon. The sky became dark in the middle of the day. Around the black disk of the moon, the sun's delicate corona became visible. It was one of nature's most extraordinary spectacles, and the prediction had come true. The eclipse occurred at the time and place Mongkut had calculated. His astronomical prediction had been remarkably accurate. The event became an extraordinary demonstration of scientific knowledge in the royal court of Siam. Mongkut lived at a remarkable crossroads. Siam possessed an ancient culture with its own traditions of astronomy and knowledge. At the same time, Western scientific ideas were entering the kingdom. Mongkut did not simply abandon one world for another. He studied both, and he used what he learned to understand the universe above him. But the story would soon take a tragic turn. During the expedition, Mongkut contracted malaria. His health deteriorated. The king who had successfully predicted the movement of the moon across the sun would not live much longer. King Mongkut died in October 1868, only weeks after the eclipse. He was 64 years old, but the observation at Wakor remained one of the most remarkable scientific episodes in Thailand's royal history. More than a century and a half later, the mathematics still speaks for itself. A king looked toward the heavens. He studied the movement of the moon. He calculated the moment when darkness would cross the sun. And when the day finally became dark, the sky answered him. Sometimes history remembers kings for the wars they fought, for the kingdoms they ruled, for the monuments they built. But King Mongkut left behind another kind of legacy. He showed that curiosity could cross borders, that science could exist alongside tradition, and that even in the 19th century, the universe could be understood by those willing to study it.